Welcome back to 13C. Tonight we're talking about the S2R Baton II. This is a brand new light that dropped this week. It's actually a 30% off flash sale that's live right now to the end of the day. The end of the day today would be Friday the 9th. So we'll have links down below, more information on that, free shipping at 49 bucks. And if you, I think around the $100 mark, you wind up getting, if you wind up spending 100 bucks during this flash sale, they'll also throw in an additional light, not another S2R, but I think a 13T, something along those lines. Anyway, we'll have that information down below if you're interested in it. But this is 1150 lumen light on the top end. Yeah, like most of the Olight lights, they pack a lot of lumens into a small package. This is actually the newer, updated model, the S2R Baton II. Over the previous version. Previous version was about 3/4 of an inch longer, and the bezel diameter was bigger. This one, the bezel diameter on it and the outer diameter here is just under an inch, it's like 0.9 inches. I don't have the smaller or the bigger older brother to this, but I do have a 30R here, which is going to be very close in size comparison-wise. To that, so if it gives you some kind of idea on how much they've shrunk it, but it's still got 1150 lumens on the top end of power here. They also extended the runtime at lower end, so their lowest level, the half a lumen, will run for 60 days straight, which is nice. Still comes with the S clip, and they've actually upgraded the texture on this quite a bit. So it's like almost like they've kind of copied some of the different stippling, not aftermarket stippling, but some of the factory stippling that are on some of the more custom handguns out there. So I won't get into that, but what I will do is just turn it on here for you while we're doing that. And I've got our fancy water tester right there, and boom. So we'll let that soak in there while we talk. Why not, right? There you can see it. So we'll go with that. So really quick, 1150 lumens, like I said, on the top end, half a lumen on the bottom end, half a lumen for 60 days, continuous runtime. Next level up would be 15 lumens for 100 hours. Then you've got 120 lumens at 14 hours. You've got 400 lumens, which will run for 4 hours. And then that top end, the 1150. The 1150 lumens will run for about 2 minutes. And then it will slowly step down its power as it heats up, and will level back out at 400 lumens. That top end is what they call their turbo mode, and then it'll run for 3.8 additional hours. So for those of you who aren't familiar, high intensity LEDs, they not only do they drain a lot of battery, but they can get really, really hot. So once it gets to a certain level, it will start stepping it down so it doesn't burn itself up. The newer LEDs like this will run for longer before they get hotter, which is why you're seeing about a runtime of about 2 minutes on this. So it's not something that's going to burn you, but the end of that bezel, by the end of your 2 minutes, is going to be hot. I've been walking with the dog out around the farm. They've got the crops down, which is really nice. So coyote predator hunting is coming very soon. Stick around for that. But it gives me a lot of distance to be able to shine lights out there and really test some of the beam distances. I can do that year-round out here, but it makes it much more convenient for me to do it all the time out here, and not really worry about where I'm at, because I've got quite a bit of land area and acreage out here to be able to do some of that stuff. Anyway, speaking of, so that leads us into, it's rated for 130 meters on the throw distance of the beam, which is about 440 feet. I find that to be probably understated just a little bit. I think you're going to wind up getting usable light further out than 135 meters. I think you're going to get at least another 30 or 40 meters worth on top of that, maybe even pushing out to about 200-ish yards, because there's some stuff that I'll illuminate out here from some known distances, and it's still putting light out there. Not like tremendous amount of light once you get out there 200 yards, but it is still throwing light out there a decent ways, especially for something that's small. It's got a TIR reflector in there, which is probably helping it out somewhat. It does have a pretty wide hotspot, so it's not. It's more. I don't want to call it a flood, but it's not like a tighter in hotspot with that outer edge. It's a pretty full light that disperses out, so keep that in mind. As far as an EDC light, it's small enough to clip inside your pocket and still be useful in that regard. I've used it pretty much exclusively for the past couple days it's been in here. As I said, this light's only been out for about a week, so it's not like I've had a whole lot of time to really put it through its paces. I have drained it down, purposefully drained it down so I could charge it up and down twice now. It's on its third charge. So we're there with that. The extent of the water testing thus far is what you're seeing actually here tonight. So it's technically rated IPX8, which should get you about 2 meters of waterproofing, or water resistance, I should say, would be the technical term. But this is all we're going to do here for this tonight. I did drop it on some softer, really short pile carpet that had this on top, indoor-outdoor carpet that's on top of concrete out in my barn, and I dropped that a couple times from 3-4 feet, and there's been no ill effect to it. It's rated for 1.5 meter drop rating. I did not test it fully to that, but that's about as steep as I want to get to it. Most of these things now I have, like on this is rated for 1.5 meters as well, and I dropped it from 6 feet onto concrete on accident for that test. I'd done a couple other tests, but I dropped it onto concrete, and you can still see that little bit of a gash right there from where it hit the concrete on accident as I was trying to balance it on top of my tripod where I shined it out, and normally I'll walk out when I do some light testing. Anyway, it's got strobe mode on it, so in addition to the turbo mode, so it's got a pretty fast cycle rate on the strobe. If you're into that sort of thing, strobe mode for most of these lights, it's not really my cup of tea, but if you enjoy that, it is on there. I know there's some folks who get some good use out of those for they like it. The timer on it, which is nice to see they're incorporating the timer into more of their lights. The timer on it you can set for either 3 or 9 minutes for automatic shut off. It does have lockout mode on it as well, so if you're throwing your bag or something, you can hold it down and lock it out, so that when you go to pick it up again, you have to go through the unlock process to use it for your first time, which is nice. That way, you don't throw it in your bag. It's bouncing around. If you're either hiking or going on a plane or something, you get to your destination, it's dead because it turned itself on and moved itself into turbo mode or something, and you've drained yourself down. Like most of the Olights that are out there, it comes with a 5-year warranty. Since the battery in this one is a replaceable rechargeable battery, that rechargeable battery is rated, it's got a warranty of one year. It is a customized 18650, as I think I mentioned earlier, and that customized means that it is customized for that light to put out that sort of high-end output of light. So now you can put any 18650 in there, any regular 18650 in there that you want, or you can put in a pair of CR123 batteries as well. If you're not familiar with what 18650 is, there's a 18650 in here, and basically it's just two CR123 batteries kind of put together, but it is one solid thing. It's not like they're just taped together or anything. This is one solid battery component in here, but size-wise it takes up basically the exact same space as 2 CR123s on top of each other. Allows for that higher, faster energy output. If you put a couple of regular CR123 batteries in there, it's going to function properly, but you won't be able to hit that top end 1150 lumens. You will hit the 400 no problem. It's going to fall somewhere in between there. What that is, I don't know. But if I had to guess, I'd probably say, like most of these other lights, you put standard CR123s in there, it's probably going to top out about 800 lumens, just because the standard CR123s cannot drive that high output LED in there to its full maximum. It's just impossible for them to discharge that quickly in order to power that high of output. I think that pretty much covers most of the high points. If you have any questions, leave them down below. You can find us facebook.com/gunreviews, as well as over on Instagram. We are at 13C Gun Reviews. We do follow-ups on our social media, these various lights that come in, let you know how they're doing over time. So if you want to see more of that, feel free to go ahead and check that out. And here's that strobe mode if you're interested. Boom. Happy seizure time, everybody. Anyway, thanks again, everybody. If you're interested in signing up for our newsletter, go ahead and do that. We're going to be giving away that Geissele SSP trigger here in the next couple of days. So get signed up for the newsletter so you don't miss out on that. It's going to be a great way for us to stay in contact with you. Maximum 1 email a week. Normally, we send out an email about every 10 days. So everybody, take care, stay safe, and we'll talk soon.